Christina here from Life with Diets, and today I am preparing a chard and chickpea stew. Now this is a very typical Spanish stew. I'm going to be doing quite a few videos with regards to all of these great platos de cuchara, as we call them here in Spain, which are dishes to be eaten with a spoon. They're very cheap and easy to make. Today might be a little bit more complicated than usual, but if you buy your chards from the supermarket already in a bag and done, then it's a lot easier. But we've planted our own vegetables recently, so I'm going to just show you quickly how to prepare the chard. So what you do, quite big, you cut the leaf off to be able to manipulate it easier, and you separate the leaves from the stems. Now, so you can do this a lot easier, you should cut the stem into parts, cut the bottom bit off, and then you just sort of peel, using a knife, you peel like what they call the hairs off. It's almost like a transparent layer. And you do that on both sides. Now separate the leaves from the stems, because the stems take a little bit longer to cook, and we're going to cook these separately. Now, while I'm going to clean all these chards, because there's quite a few, I'm going to prepare the chickpeas and everything else. Now, with every Spanish stew, it's basically an onion, tomato, and a pepper, and a head of garlic. Now, they're very simple and easy to make, because these come from the days of when obviously there wasn't a lot of money, and there's a lot of land here in Spain, and people always have their own land and they grow their own vegetables, and all these wonderful dishes have come from that. Now I'm going to do this in a pressure cooker. You want to be boiling your chickpeas for about 40 to 45 minutes. So I'm going to put half a kilo of chickpeas, which I pre-soaked from yesterday, the onion, pepper, tomato. Because I'm making a large batch, I actually have 2 tomatoes, and it's a very large pepper. You can use green or red. I have a red, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to pop all this in here. Now, as well as all these lovely ingredients, we are going to add some laurel leaves and some cloves. So funny enough, with this one, it's a little bit different to other stews where you just pop it all in together. We're going to have got the chickpeas, we're going to add the onion, the pepper, and the tomatoes, all in here. Now, the head of garlic, you want to peel the white layer off, and then you put it in whole, like it is, and then you fish it out afterwards. You don't serve that. I'm going to add some pepper, and then we're also going to add a couple of laurel leaves and a couple of cloves. My neighbour luckily has rescued me, because I didn't have any cloves, and I've already done my shop, so I've got some nice cloves here, and some natural laurel leaves, so I'll be popping those in as well. And then you will cook the chard separately, and then just add it afterwards. I've been given a little tip. I'm also going to be doing what's called ajo frito, fried garlic, mixed with fried bread and fried almond flour, ground almonds, separately. And I'm going to put that through the food processor and add that as well, because it gives it a good extra kick. Like I say, all these lovely meals I get for recipes from all my Spanish friends. So I'm going to just go ahead and get on with it. Now I'm going to bring this up to temperature, put the garlic in, pepper, some salt, and then I'm going to put in, because it's a 10 litre, instead of just putting one clove, I'm going to put in 3, and I'm going to put in 3 laurel leaves as well. Now, if you're just making, if you're not doing a massive pan like I am, you want to be doing a smaller amounts. I have the amounts written in the comments below. But if you're like me and you like batch cooking, then we'll go ahead and do the 10 litre pan. So all these Spanish dishes are naturally vegan from the off, so these are great for me, and they're because we're using pulses, they are wonderful for someone who has hypoglycemia and wants to not have those blood sugar spikes. So also great for diabetics. So I'm going to get on and clean the rest of my chard, and then I will be boiling that separately and adding it to it afterwards. So I'm going to bring this to boil, and then I'm going to put the pressure on. Bring it up to heat, and then I'm going to cook the chickpeas and the vegetables and everything for 45 minutes in a pressure cooker. If you're doing this in just a normal pan, you want the chickpeas are probably going to take 3 to 4 hours for it to be a nice, great stewy, soft consistency. So 45 minutes in a pressure cooker, 3 to 4 hours on the in a normal pan. You can just walk away and leave it. It might take me that long just to prepare all these lovely fresh chards. And then afterwards we're going to add a bit of pimentón dulce and some cumin. I'm going to show you how to do the fried bread and garlic. So what I've done is I've got some bread, I've grated it. You don't have to, you can just put it into small bits because we're going to be putting this through the blender. So I've got 3 cloves of garlic with some olive oil, fried those for a bit to get my fried garlic, and then I've added almond and bread. So I've added almond flour and half a gluten-free roll. I'm then going to fry this up a little bit and put it through the blender. This adds a lovely pop flavour to the stew. I've got my chard leaves boiling here, I've got the stalks boiling here, and my stew should be ready in about 10 minutes. Then I will depressurise the pressure cooker, add all of it all in together, once I've blended the ajo frito and pan frito mix, so the fried garlic. So yeah, use olive oil when you're frying your garlic and bread. Got to keep it in the middle because I've got this big frying pan and I've put it on a smaller hob, but everything seems to be taken up here. Don't want to overcook it because you want a nice flavour. So I've fried the bread and garlic. I'm now just going to pop that in the blender. If you've got a Thermomix, then use one of that, then use that. I don't have, so I'm going to use my blender. Okay, so once you have fried the garlic with the bread and almond flour, so the garlic first in olive oil, fry it so that the olive oil takes the flavour, and then add the bread and almond flour, then you stick it in the blender. You might need a little bit of water to get it a bit. So what you're going to end up with is a lovely thick, creamy, like this, okay? And now we just have to wait and then add all of these wonderful things together. Right, moment of truth. I've depressurised the pan. Here is our head of garlic floating along the top. Everything looks wonderfully tasty. Okay, so I'm going to strain the chard, stick that in, and I'm going to add this wonderful paste mix, and that's what we're having for lunch. To get a nice colour, we are going to add some pimentón rojo, pimentón dulce. You can add de la vera to get smoky flavour. It's slightly spicy, so make sure everybody in your family eats it. Or this pimentón dulce. I really don't know what it's called in English, and I love using cumin to make things a bit yellow. So add that. And here we go. Our stew is ready. Now don't be alarmed, the bread has a funny, obviously when it's still got a bit of a texture on the top. It's like, well, like melted bread in there really, isn't it? This is going to look absolutely fabulous. And it's going to taste just as good. So I'm Remember, all the stews, there's different ways of making them. So I chop my onion, pepper and tomatoes because my lot eat it. But before they started eating vegetables properly, what I'd do is I'd put the pepper, tomato and onion in whole, and then when it was cooked I'd take them out, blend it and then add it, which also gives it a bit of a better colour. So that was chickpea stew with chard. You can also make this with spinach, so you go through exactly the same process and do it with spinach instead of chard. Probably a lot easier if you're not going to have to clean all the spinaches, because you can get bad spinach as well, so completely up to you. My lot don't eat spinach, so we don't do that. I have the recipe underneath in the comments and also on our website, lifewithdiets.com. If you think this video has given you some value, then please give me a like and subscribe to the channel, because there is lots more lovely Spanish dishes where this came from. That's all from me.